Three Demons Book 2, Chapter 34, One Against All. Yeltsin made his way to the outskirts of town, and just like the delirious man had said, a group of witches were gathered at the old gas station. The gas station had all its windows busted, shards of glass on the ground near it, and most likely inside of as well. Yeltsin made his approach towards the station, carefully, so as to not attract attention to himself. He pulled out his revolver, with one hand and the other began to glow in a golden light. Silencio. Yeltsin spoke out an incantation to silence his revolver as he took aim at the nearby witch. He fired his gun, the sounds of gunshot no longer triggered due to the incantation, as the witch is taken out with a single shot to the back of its head, falling over on the ground as blood flowed from its wound. The other witches nearby went over to check on their comrade. The language they spoke was that of grunts. This caused Yeltsin to narrow his eyes. These witches are different, he thought to himself as he readied himself for another shot. Chaos had erupted within the gas station. The witches began to panic as they weren't expecting an intruder. They scattered in different directions, their candles and incense falling onto the ground. Yeltsin swiftly fired off 6 shots, each eliminating a different witch one by one, as the remaining witches attempted to figure out where the attacks were coming from. Yeltsin took cover, waiting for Drum to reload as he let the witches continue to panic. Yeltsin peered back up, but he was shocked to notice all the witches had disappeared from view. He swiftly moved in closer to the station, keeping his focus around him in case of any sneak attack. He entered the dimly lit gas station, hiding behind the aisle closest to the entrance. He noticed 2 figures standing at the end of the station, where 2 thrones have been built. A group of witches huddled in front of them, seemingly begging for help. One was the fallen angel that had almost killed Yeltsin days earlier, but the other figure was someone he couldn't recognize, but its presence was also that of a fallen angel. His appearance was that of pale skin, dim blue eyes, slicked back black hair, and a defined jawline, while he wore a black suit and tie. Oh, shut up already! The blonde-haired fallen angel moved his hand across the air, the force of which decapitated the witches in front of him, causing those that survived to drop to their hands and knees and begin begging for their lives. Setzer, are you positive all 4 of the fragments will gather here? Lord Brachul isn't one to wait long. The black-haired fallen angel asked with uncertainty. The fallen angel known as Setzer smirked. Yomai, have I ever lied to you? Trust me, there was a reason we had those witches let go of that man. I mean, one of them is already here, Setzer told Yomai as he looked back at where Yeltsin was hiding. This called Yeltsin to come out of hiding and fire his gun at the duo. However, as the bullet got close to Setzer, the bullet redirected in a 90-degree turn out of the gas station through one of the broken window seals. Yeltsin was stunned. He didn't know how they managed to change the direction of his attack. Yomai stepped forward. Your bullet pushes through the wind to get to us, but the wind does my bidding, so you are already at a disadvantage. Yeltsin wasn't one to back down, however. He gripped his revolver tightly as he stared down the 2 fallen angels in front of him. Despite this, his body still hasn't fully healed from his last confrontation with them. Setzer moved in with blistering speed. His movements were that of a blur. Yeltsin went in to take a shot, but Setzer grabbed his wrist and forced the shot upward as he kneed Yeltsin in the abdomen. Yomai stood back, observing the fight from afar. Setzer, don't play with your food. Get it over with and retrieve the fragment quickly. Setzer responded with a sinister laugh as he continued to pummel down on Yeltsin, his words echoing through the station. You really are stupid. You came all this way alone, knowing you couldn't beat me before? Yeltsin grunted in pain as Setzer's blows rained down on him. His earlier shots had been deflected with ease, and he found himself at a distinct disadvantage, but the old gunslinger refused to yield. With a surge of strength, Yeltsin pushed back, breaking free from Setzer's grasp. He rolled on the side narrowly, avoiding a crushing stomp from Setzer. The gas station's shattered shelves and debris offered a brief respite from the force of the stomp. As Setzer lunged at him once more, Yeltsin focused his energy. The holy power that flowed within him surged, and he whispered an incantation, Contador. As Setzer went in for a punch, it was deflected back at him, sending him flying through the shelves and debris. He growled in frustration as he picked himself back up. As Jake entered the bathroom, Kazuto followed suit behind him. Jake turned to him. You know how strange it is to follow another man to the bathroom? Jake said in a tone that was both frustrated and annoyed. Look, Jake, we need to talk. Kazuto spoke to Jake, calling him by his name instead of Randy. So you finally figured it out. About time. Jake mocked Kazuto for taking so long to figure out the differences between the 3 personalities. That doesn't matter right now. You know why we started this journey. We have to go after Yeltsin before he gets himself killed. Kazuto roared at Jake as Jake responded with his eyes narrowing. Jake leaned against the bathroom sink. Since when do you care about others? Last time I checked, you almost let one of your own die, and then proceed to attempt to kill Joseph. Jake reminded Kazuto of his previous fuck-ups, which causes Kazuto to grit his teeth. Kazuto grabs Jake by the collar of his jacket. Look, you can take your ego and go somewhere else, but you know what will happen if Bracula gets his hands on Excalibur. Not even you will be strong enough to beat him. Jake got close to Kazuto, his eyes narrowed even further. You seriously think I won't be able to beat someone as weak as that? You damn right. Kazuto poked at Jake's ego, which caused him to become more frustrated. Fine, you want to save that bitter old man? Then fine. I'll go with you, just to prove a point. Jake loudly remarked as the two stared each other down. Back at the gas station, Yeltsin was determined to give it his all, blood running down his right arm onto his gun. He was managing to block Setzer's rapid strikes, despite a few of them landing. With a sudden surge of strength, Yeltsin performed a swift spin, breaking free from Setzer's grasp, and aimed his revolver at the blonde-haired fallen angel. Before he could pull the trigger, Yomai intervened. A gust of wind wrapped around Yeltsin's wrist, sending his bullet off course and slamming into a nearby wall. Yeltsin's eyes darted between the two fallen angels, frustration building within him. Setzer advanced, landing another blow that sent Yeltsin crashing against a shattered gas pump. With bloody lips and a battered body, Yeltsin refused to give in to the pain, pulling himself up against the will of his own body. As Setzer prepared to deliver the final blow, a piercing voice echoed through the gas station, a voice that caused the fallen angels to pause and look over in the direction of said voice. You've had your fun, but it ends here. Standing there is the Gabrielle company, each with a look of determination staring down both Setzer and Yomai. A grin of accomplishment came across the face of Setzer. End of chapter 34.